So I figured today I'd give an introduction to the chickens, being that most people have seen them in our videos, but we've never really talked about them all that much. Starting out with the coop, the wife and I built this from, small pieces of wood that we had left over, as well as fence posts. So we built this when wood was really, really expensive this last summer or last spring. So what we found is that if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you can buy fence posts, pickets, not posts, but pickets. And you can put together a pretty nice board and batten coop that stands up to even Vermont weather pretty well. We built this with just the fence pickets, and then it's built on a square frame. We used some old 6x6 pieces that we had in the basement and some 2x4 pieces that we had in our garage to frame it in. And it didn't cost all that much. The window we got from a restore here up in Vermont, that was like $5, pretty inexpensive. The only thing that was expensive on it was the automatic coop door opener. We definitely like having that. It opens the door a half hour after sunrise, and then closes it about a half hour after sunset. So the chickens put themselves to bed and get themselves up in the morning. In the pen here, so we have a pen that's surrounded by just chicken wire and hardware cloth, as you can see. It's definitely not all the same. You can make out that there's a different type of fencing there than there. We just use what we had. The chickens don't seem to care. We keep this pretty well clean. Well, of course, when we started, there was grass in here. We knew there was not gonna, maintain the grass. The chickens eat all the grass. So we occasionally put down some straw like we did this morning. And you can see the chickens just love digging through the straw. The goal is in the spring, once we get through a winter and the straw is all kind of spent and rotted down, we are real close to our compost pile, so we'll just throw it in there. One of the other things that we put in the compost is the bedding for the coop. We use the deep litter method. So what we do is occasionally, like once a week or so, we'll throw in a fresh, half an inch or so of pine shavings on here, and we let it build up for 5 or 6 months and then empty it out. We've gone through that once so far, and it was pretty good. We take that out, and you can probably make it out at the bottom of the compost down there because we've turned this. But you just kind of throw it in there and it breaks down pretty quick. Of course, as you can imagine, it's full of nitrogen because the chickens are constantly peeing and pooping in it. So it breaks down really fast. In the coop, it's nothing special. You can see we have perch up there. You can see out the window. The top is all covered with roofing material, and along the edges up at the top up there, we have hardware cloth so that nothing can get in. You can see it here as well. We want to make sure that it is properly protected. We have 2 nesting boxes, which you can see this girl kind of taking a look at. They're back there. We have a third one right there, but we haven't opened it up yet. It hasn't been a problem. We also have this temporary roost here. We created this when they were little, when they were actually in their grow out stage, and had this in the incubator area, and they liked it. So we've left it in here, and occasionally some of them will still use it. The doors and everything, once again, all 2x4 construction, absolutely nothing fancy, right? And you can see these are more of those fence posts or fence pickets. We make sure it's really well secured so that, raccoons and skunks and, hopefully even bears can't get in here. I'm sure a bear, if it wanted to, it could, but we try to make it difficult for them. So 2 on every door. So even the egg box over there has 2. So that nothing can get in there. And this piece of rope, what we use is if we're going to leave it open for cleaning or whatever, we can tie it off to the fence post over there. So that's there just for convenience. Once again, you can see we have the chickens running around in here. They do occasionally jump out into the yard and will pick at grass. They, in the summertime, will get out there and dig into some of the plants where they're not supposed to be, but that's just kind of part of having chickens, right? They really enjoy digging through the straw. If you look at straw, you can see that like right here, there's like seed heads still in there, and they really enjoy picking through and eating those seeds. As you can see, there she goes. So they'll eat that. As for the types of chickens we have 6 birds that we call 1 through 6 because we can't name them because we can't tell them apart from each other. But that's these guys here. They are the brownish, reddish with, you know, black markings. I don't know if you can make out the markings very well there, but they are a partridge Plymouth Rock. So if you've seen a barred rock, it's kind of like a barred rock, but just a little different in the coloration. A barred rock, of course, is black and white, and these guys are brown and white. We then also have 2 Welsummers. So that's this one and that one. The Welsummers we can tell apart because this one, if you look at her, she does not have a bump on her neck. Whereas this one, she has extra feathers there on the top of the back of her neck. So this is Beatrice and that's Becky. Beatrice is our escape artist. The wife has been petitioning to rename her Houdini because she's constantly escaping the pen. We are putting her away, I don't know, at least 4 times a day. We'll put her back into the pen. She just likes to fly. We've contemplated cutting her wings, but she doesn't really cause any damage and she has a good time and she's pretty well behaved. She doesn't make too much of a mess anywhere, so we leave her be. We also have 3 olive eggers. So this one, that one, and this one. Those ones are named Fluffy. The mostly gray one is Fluffy. This one is Midge. She's more, you know, black than this one. This one has definitely more gray. So Fluffy's more gray, Midge is a little less gray. And then Raven is like pitch black with iridescent green color. So Raven is what was supposed to be an olive egger, but she actually lays almost a bluish color egg, and you can look at her and tell that she's probably got some Americana in her, and that makes sense. These 1 through 6 chickens are definitely loud. They like to make a lot of noise. But they are all great egg layers. We get 10 to 11 eggs a day right now. Of course, it's still fall, so they're producing. In the wintertime, I'm sure those numbers will go down. We have a dust bath in here. As you can see, they like to fill it up with stuff that's not dust. We'll normally put it under here, clean it up. Also, we keep a water bowl in here all the time. I'm getting ready to refill it. It's right there. I just dumped it out. We just keep it here by the fence because then it's easy for us to reach over and put it in and take it out without having too much trouble. Until the snow starts falling and it's difficult for them to get outside, we do put their supplements outside. So we have oyster shells here on this side of the coop. And then we also have some crushed granite, like little stones. So that's, you know, just to help them digest stuff. That is just there and waiting. So yeah, they keep those available. Once it starts snowing out or gets really, really cold and they don't want to go out, we'll probably hang those on the inside of the wall. Maybe on this corner because it's easier to get to from the door, right? Once again, you can tell that they are quite loud. As for the nesting boxes, once again, we have 2 you know, lanyards over here, or not lanyards, but clips over here. So, you know, put those on, take one off, go to the other side, take this one off. This wood has been, so this wood here is not fence post. This is from a local sawmill. We bought some 1/2-inch pine by, I believe it was 6-inch wide. We bought these for the bottom of the coop. So if you look at the bottom across this way, you know, the bottom of the coop itself, it's using this. We just wanted to use something a little bit sturdier than these fence pickets to do the bottom with. And we had some left over, so I used it up here. I've debated putting some battens down on this, but it doesn't seem to leak very much. And, you know, I kind of like the idea that there's a little bit of ventilation inside the laying box. So for right now, we're leaving it as is. At some point though, if it during the winter and ice starts getting in there and it becomes a problem, we will put some battens on. We still have some more of these, so we can put them on. When we built it, a simple handle, remember we get a lot of snow up here. This is northern Vermont, so we didn't want something where we had to open the top and clear all the snow off. I'd much prefer to have something where I can do this, right? You know, pull it open from the side, and that way you wouldn't have any snow load in the way. As the snow builds up, it can just stay there and we can come out and just grab this. We also have a nice little overlap here. Don't know if you can make that out very well, but cut that back just so that even if there's a little bit of ice buildup right there, we can still clear it. If for some reason it does get long. Of course, we could knock the ice off, but this is working very well. We also put some weatherproofing on this piece of plywood just because this is exposed plywood. And I thought it might rot quickly, so we just put a little bit of deck sealer on the outside of this. We tried to not use stuff that was gonna be poisonous to the chickens. As you can see, we have a couple of nesting boxes. So it is funny, I don't know if you can make that out, but the chicken will come in this one here and then hop over the top to get into this one. And so you can see that there's a chicken in there right now with an egg. So this is from one of the olive eggers. You can see it's a green egg, right? We have that. And then you can see here's another one. This is from one of the 1 through 6. See, there you go, she just jumped across. And then we have 2 more over here, also from 1 through 6. So the well summers, which are this one, they lay a much darker egg. Their egg is like almost a brown color, whereas these guys are more of a light kind of tan color. And then the olive eggers will lay a egg of this color, or sometimes a little bit darker depending on the chicken. But I'm gonna get out of the way here because I am definitely distracting them from their business. All right, come on out, girls, let's go. Let me come right back to you here. Oh, well, never mind. They decided to jump down. I'm gonna throw these eggs in my pocket and put these away. I did not bring out, hey, where are you going? That's not the way in. You can see that they don't care. They're just like, oh, it's open, I'll go get it. All right, no problem. You see these guys are in here, hopping around, running around all the time. Watch your tail. There you go. All right. And yeah, you can see we can just close it back up. They definitely have no problem using the laying area there, or the nesting boxes. They like them, they sit in there. But one thing I will note is that when we built this, we did some research, and everybody said make sure your nesting boxes are at a low level, right? Because if you put them up high, they'll take them for roosting areas and then poop in them and everything. And as you can see from inside of that, we threw some straw in there, months ago when they started laying, and they never poop in there. They only go in there to lay. They don't stay in there. They don't hang out there. If they want to go up onto a roost, their roost is much higher up at the top here, so they don't mess with it much. We do get lots and lots of eggs from them, much more than my wife and I can definitely eat. But the chickens are really fun to have around. They're interesting. They're entertaining. They're constantly doing crazy little antics, jumping around, chasing flies. They are hilarious to watch chase a fly in the summertime. They will chase the fly in the air and try to jump at it. Pretty funny creatures to have around. And they produce a lot of really good eggs. I mean, these eggs are terrific eating, and we just get tons and tons of them. So that's always nice. Kind of wanted to give an introduction to Fluffy and Midge and Raven and Becky and Beatrice and 1 through 6. Like I said, we don't have a name for 1 through 6 because we can't tell them apart. If anybody has any ideas on how you could possibly, tell them apart, that would be great. We thought about some bands on their legs, but we've also heard that sometimes the chickens will pick at that if you do that, and we don't want to give them any reason to start picking at each other. So we tend to not want to do that. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, if you could think of a reason or a way to tell them apart from one another, that would be great. We would really like to be able to name 1 through 6. We just have no way of doing it. They are, as you can see, a little messy, of course, but they are chickens, and birds are usually pretty messy. So we bought an automatic feeder. This is a self-driven feeder. The way it works is you put a bunch of food in the back of that portion there. There's a container back there. And the chickens learned that you can just step on this, and when they step on it, they can stick their head in there, get some grain, and when they take their foot off, it closes up. Keeps the mice out, keeps the other animals out. We haven't had any raccoons or anything figure out how to get in here. And we live close to a river, so there's muskrats and mice all over the place outside, and none of them have been able to get in there either. But it's, the chickens have definitely figured this out. They'll come over here, step on it, eat their food. And it also keeps it dry, and because we can put it under the coop, it's underneath the coop here, it keeps it out of the weather. So I think the one thing that we will change is in the wintertime, we'll probably turn it around so that the foot area, the part that they push down, is underneath the coop that way. so that it's even better protected from the weather, so they don't actually have to stand out in the snow to get into it. Because when it's raining out or when it's, you know, not nice, they do hang out under the coop much more than they hang out inside. It's interesting with chickens, they don't seem to like to be in the coop during the day. They don't like to be in the coop pretty much at all. So they will hang out under there. As you can see, under ours here, there's a big stump. We had a giant maple tree that was really, really old. We were very sad to have to cut it down, but it was definitely dying. So it needed to be cut down. And we utilized that to put the base of the coop on, right? Yes. What can I do for you, Becky? What's up? So we've got the back corner of the coop sitting on that, and the chickens do love to dig in there. There was a lot of bugs in there and stuff in the beginning, and they like to dig at those bugs and pull them out, and you know, just eat away, just be chickens. So we found that they're all pretty happy. There's no fighting going on. There's no pecking going on at each other. We try to keep them, you know, with some space to move around. We will occasionally let them out in the yard and do the things that they want to do. One other thing that we do is we hang occasionally, we'll hang treats here. These are like pressed seeds with, you know, like just mixed seeds that come from the store, and you can hang them up, and the chickens love to pick at it. And then we also have this ball that will throw scratch grains in. And what it does is as they kick it around, I don't know if you can make that out right there, but there's an opening in the back, and they kick it around and the seeds come out, so they'll use that to play with. But today, of course, we don't have to do that because we gave them this fresh straw, and they'll be working on this for hours and hours and hours. They'll spend all day just digging through this, picking at stuff, trying to get every last seed that they can find in this straw. They really, really enjoy this. This is the third time we've put down straw for them, and it keeps them entertained for a long time. I don't know if you can see it there, but one of them is eating right now. So yeah, there you go. They definitely know how to use the feeder. They get in there, and they're all happy and healthy and pretty, you know, good sized, creating lots and lots of eggs for us. So okay, well, that was once again a review of just what we've got going on for our chickens, how we take care of them, what we feed them, or well, you know, where we feed them, how we keep them happy, how we keep them entertained, and it's been working out so far. You know, we're not advanced chicken keepers by any means. We've only had chickens for, you know, I don't know, 9 months or something, but we raised these girls from hatchlings. You know, they were only a couple days old when we got them. They've done great. We've kept them alive, we've kept them fed, we've kept them protected. You biting at my shoulder? Huh? Don't be biting at me. What are you doing? Just thought I had some food on my sleeve or something. What? Get out of here. Yeah, so we've kept them alive, we've kept them happy. They're doing well. If anybody has any questions about them, you know, or what to expect from them or how to take care of them, we're happy to give you any info we can give you. All right, thank you again for watching. We appreciate you taking a look at our videos. If you'd like to subscribe, click the subscribe button. Feel free to click that little bell, and it'll notify you every time we give a video update. We try to put up a new video once a week, talk about our, you know, adventures with the animals and the property that we're developing, and just gardening and other things of that nature. And yeah, we appreciate it. So subscribe, like the video, click the bell, and we'll be back and talk to you again next week. Thanks, everyone.